Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Knots to Know. I am Natalie. I am your host, and I'm also known as Detroit Knots across social media. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and a blog that I'm going to resurrect. So it's been a few weeks since my last episode, and that was not what I planned. But I have a reason for it, and I will share that at the end of the episode because it's kind of like life updates. And so if you are not interested in life updates, you can just end before I get to that part. So today we're going to talk about whips, FOs. I have one FO. I have 2 whips. And then we are going to basically recap the last 2 weeks, or 3, which includes Stitch Up Chicago, which was so much fun, right? Okay, so let's start with FOs. Well, 1. So the last time I talked about a cowl that I designed, which features a slip stitch Tunisian crochet pattern and then a simple stitch pattern and 2 pieces, and you can flip it around so that you get both textures at any given time. And I named it the Flip Dana. So I wasn't really sure about that name, but people on Instagram said that they loved it and I love it, so that is what it's called. So here it is. So this is my second sample. You saw the first one the last time. And so what happened was one panel was longer than the other. I don't know how it happened. But I said that if I do it again and it happened again, I was just going to roll with it. So obviously it did. So I'm just going to roll with it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. And so it will become a pattern. I'm finally going to go ahead and write it up. This one is made from Neighborhood Fiber Co. in the colors Stephen Towns and Bolton Hill. It is their Studio Sock base. And it's just, So I actually have a sweater that I made in these 2 colors. And I had 2 skeins left over from that sweater. And so that is how this one was born. When I looked for some stash yarn that I could make another sample out of, it was like perfect for it. So the orangey red color is the Bolton Hill. And then the variegated or speckled, it's not really variegated, the speckled kind of like gray base yarn is Stephen Towns or Stephen Towns, one of those. And I will show you what I have left over from that. It was living in my RMR Yarns project bag that I got from Stitch Up, and they kind of match. Isn't that lovely? So this little nugget is all I have left of the Bolton Hill. It's beautiful orangey red color. And then this is what I have left over of the Stephen Towns or Stephen Towns. And you can see that it is perfectly speckled. I know this cake is like janky. But so I still have a lot of this left over, and I will use it. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Probably a pair of socks, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. And then maybe I'll use this little nugget as like a little blip at the top of the sock or something. I don't know. It's not enough for 2 heels or toes, so we'll do that. But this is how it works. If this is your first time seeing this, let me show you. So this is one side, and then you will take it, because it's seamed together. You'll take one side, flip it. You like how I did that? Flip Danner. You get it now? Yes. Put one on the inside, and then you have simple stitch on the outside, and then a little peek of the slip stitch pattern, you know. So the plan is to kind of push that seam down in it to get more of that texture peeking out. But I absolutely love this. Like I said, I don't know how it worked out that one panel was larger than the other, but I'm gonna go with it because that's what I do. Go with the flow. No, that's not true. I'm usually a perfectionist, but since the same thing happened again, now I'm going to roll with it. Then, so my second whip, this one I tried to actually have finished before going to Stitch Up Chicago, but that didn't happen because I needed to work on a couple of secret projects, you know, deadlines and all of that. So I did take it with me, but I did not get a whole lot done. And so this one is living in a project bag by me. Lovely batik fabric. And I still have a few in the shop if you're interested. But this one is actually, okay, so it's a version of what I have on, which I didn't talk about. So I have on my original sample of a sweater that is called The Sweater. It is a top-down raglan with short rows in Tunisian crochet. So this first sample I did not do in the round. So there is a seam down the back, which is not really a seam because I don't have to sew it. I actually used a connecting stitch to put the pieces together. So sort of kind of in and around, but not really. So this is actually my third sample. I checked. It's my third sample. And this one is made out of Pearly Tricot yarn in the colorway Michigan in Spring. And the dyer is Tasia. Tasia is one of my good friends, and she also lives in Michigan. And so I got 3 skeins of this colorway from her. It is absolutely gorgeous. So it has like grays and browns and pops of orange and pinks. And I'm not really a pink person, but I love this colorway. So I am almost done with it. I still have little short sleeves to do and then a little bit on the body. Luckily my torso is not that long. So I think I maybe have like 3 inches to go before it is the length that I want it to be, which is slightly cropped. But if I turn it around, you can see the short rows. So the short rows I worked over some of the sleeve stitches and then across the back of the yoke. So the bottom of the yoke is where I inserted the short rows. And this little blippy piece right here is going to go within the sleeve and underneath my arm. So it's not going to show. You won't even see that. Won't even realize that it's there. And over the course of making a few of these samples, I perfected the short rows. When I first started it, like on this one, there are some slight holes where I do the short rows. And then I was making a sock. And in that sock was the shadow wrap heel. And so I borrowed that technique of not having any holes in those short rows for that heel to do the short rows in my sweater. So loving that. And that should be, I'm not gonna make no promises. It'll be done eventually. But it will only take 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn for my size, and I am a 44-inch bust. So this is the color. Gorgeous, gorgeous. One of these days I'm gonna figure out how to get my camera to focus, but that is that. Very excited to have this finished. I took notes this time. So we'll see if I'm able to decipher my notes so that can become a pattern. It'll probably not be for spring or summer, and it'll probably be for the fall, because I take my time with my designs to make sure that they are right for everyone, including myself. So it will come eventually. Then my third whip will actually be a part of my acquisition. Speak, Natalie. The acquisition section, because that's very special. I got the yarn for that at Stitch Up. So let's talk about Stitch Up, and then I'll show you that whip. So Stitch Up Chicago is an event. It is not a, what do you call them? It's not a festival. It's not a retreat. It is, I call it a giant sip and stitch. So about 150 makers, some knitters, some crocheters came together and laughed and ate and talked and got to know each other. So people that came to Stitch Up alone did not leave alone. They now have new friends. It is absolutely awesome. So this event was created by Michelle Costa, who is the maker behind the Stitch and Hustle blog, and also of 144 Stitches, where she has her designs. And so she came up with this event a few years ago. It started as just a meetup, and then morphed into this event, this giant event. So the last year we weren't able to do it, and I say we because I am a part of the Stitch Up family. I've hosted or co-hosted 2 and attended 3 or 4. I can't remember. It's the years smushed together, right? Okay. So when I talk about Stitch Up, this time is going to be from the perspective of a co-host, right? So I helped to facilitate the separate events that were within the full event. So there were always kind of like make-alongs, right? So I don't really want to call them like workshops, because it's really just like to get you started, right? So Michelle has put this event together with the help of sponsors, and we'll talk about some of them. And so these sponsors provided everything everyone needed to make the projects. And these were included in what we call the swag bag. So this bag is full. And I do mean full. So you got yarn, hooks, the patterns that were there, everything. Some extra swag, which I'll talk about that too in a minute, like a t-shirt. It's all great. So the slogan is, well, a couple of years ago, the slogan for the event was, "We have a stitchuation." And this year, the slogan is "Stitchuation handled," right? Because we all made it through the panty. And now we are kind of still in it, but we're coming to the other side of it. People are getting together. People are enjoying their lives again, right? So the extra swag that was in the bags was a t-shirt. And the t-shirt is created by a small black-owned, woman-owned business, and they're actually sisters called Earl's Girls. Earl's Girls. They are fabulous. So I met Carla at a couple of stitch ups ago, and then I met her sister, and so now we're all like one big happy family. Okay, so there are more Earl's Girls than just the two of them. I need to make sure that I say that because the rest of the sisters might get upset. I mean, they don't know me. I only know the two sisters, but I don't want to make no family angry. There are lots of sisters. But they had this t-shirt company called Earl's Girls, and they provided the t-shirt swag in the bags. And okay, so I'm special, and they love me a lot. And so I got a sweatshirt in orange, and it's so bright. And I acted a plum fool. I walked around with this draped across my body, showing everybody. I mean, like I did the Vanna. I was out there like, couple of people caught me dancing. It's okay. It's okay. I was very excited. I love my orange sweatshirt. Everybody had the opportunity to purchase beyond what was in their swag bag if they wanted to. So that was like one of the other times that you can purchase something, because we really want to support, small businesses. And these sisters are awesome. So go check them out for your swag needs. Earl's Girls. So I'm going to go in order. I have myself some notes because this event is packed with stuff, right? Like packed. So the official event was Friday and Saturday. So April 14th and April 15th. And then there were some special things that happened on the Sunday, which I was a part of. And we'll talk about that after we get through, right? So on Friday, we kicked off the event at a local yarn shop there called Nina Chicago, which is owned by Hillary. And it is, I call it a yarn shop, but it's more than a yarn shop. Like there is fabric and notions and patterns, like sewing patterns. And I got a little bit because I sew too. But so we kicked off the event having a tea and then little tidbit bites that were created by a chef, which is awesome. I forget his name, but it's always delicious. I only got to actually taste it the first time when I was an attendee. As a host, there's no time for anything, right? You're moving and helping people pick colors and pattern suggestions and all those good things. So I'm walking around. I have no time to eat anything. But I knew this from the last time that I was a host. And so your girl went to Target and got herself basically an adult Lunchable. So I was good. I was good to go. I already had my snack. But at this event, this is like really the only time where you can actually shop. And so the shop was closed to the public, and it was open just for Stitch Up attendees. So this is your opportunity to shop the yarn and notions and fabric and whatever else they wanted to get, and have a little bite to eat before things are really kicked off in the afternoon. So let me show you what I got from Nina Chicago. So the sponsors also provide the host with gifts. They don't have to, but they do, and I'm not mad about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad about it at all. So here is a few things that Hillary gave the host. So what I didn't talk about, the other hosts. So I wasn't the only one. There's Tamara Kelly from Moogly Blog. I know everybody knows Tamara, right? If you don't, where you been? Tamara is like the OG crochet blogger, teacher. Like, get to know Tamara if you don't know her. She's really nice. And then there was Lauren from Mother of Pearl. You definitely need to get to know Lauren. Like, all vibes. Like, that's the vibe for me. Lay back, chill. They are real cool. And a hell of a designer. Like, they knit. And I know that this is mostly about crochet, or it is about crochet, but I gotta tell you about Lauren. So check Lauren out. If you knit, get into it. So we got tape measures, of course. I probably have like 6 of them, to be honest with you. I got a lot. Okay, so I saw this while I was there, and I didn't realize that it was in my host bag, but I'm so excited that it was in there. Look at it. It's blowing out. But isn't that the cutest thing ever? It's a little sock monkey. And it's a tape measure. And it's crochet. It's got a little button on the back so you can retract it. I love it so much. It's so cute. And I don't know if this is going to show up, but it's a pen that says, oh man, my face. It says, sheeps are my peeps. I actually have a mug that says this on it too, so I was really excited to have that. And I gotta figure out what I'm gonna put this on. Like, I just kind of hold pens. I know people collect them, but I haven't put them on anything. I just kind of got them in a bag. And then I have Tuft Woolen, which is a wool wash bar, like a bar of soap, and it smells so good. This one is chai spice. Like, it is like, it's a savory smell, so it's not sweet, it's savory, which is my jam. And then I'm going to show this backwards because it is very shiny, but a gauge ruler. Ooh, very shiny. I love this. This is the first one that I've ever owned, so I'm excited to use that. We got some little tags. I think they all say woohoo. I don't know. I didn't open it. But some little tags to put on your makes. What else? Okay, so at Nina Chicago, they have an exclusive yarn line called Movers and Makers. So Hillary was stitched up for the yarn tasting with Movers and Makers. And Movers and Makers is their exclusive yarn and is dyed by Kristen of Crochet. And they gave me some other yarn, but oh, that is blowing out. That is blowing out. It's a lovely orange. This is mohair. So this is the Wicker Park lace, 72% kid mohair, 28% mulberry silk, in the color 1655 West Division Street. And I have a skein of fingering to go with this. So I will be doing something with that. Now, I bought some things too. So I bought some fabric because I didn't need any more yarn. I got a lot of yarn. You'll see it. Isn't that cute? I'm going to make a bag. So I had this yarn ball fabric, which is a cotton. I got black lining. And then I also got a piece of canvas, which is picking up all the dust. But for the bottom of the bag, so that would be a bag for myself. It's definitely got mohair on it. But I'm going to make myself another project bag because there are never enough project bags because I am a founding member of the Multiple Whip crew. So there's always something to put into a bag. Now, speaking of sewing, right? Gotta move stuff around. I also bought a pattern that I had been wanting for a while. And I didn't want a digital pattern. I wanted a paper pattern. So when I saw that they had these, I was like, yes, mine. I'm getting it. So these are the Mitchell trousers. I am so going to make these. And even though I am only 5 feet tall and like wide leg pants probably are not the deal for me, I'm still going to do it. And so I'm going to make this version here. Look at those pockets. Like, for real. How can you not? And I have this. I have an orange linen that is going to be perfect for those. So that was Friday. Oh, Friday morning. So Friday afternoon, we had the kickoff of this actual stitching night, and that was sponsored by Universal Yarn. And so there were 3 patterns that were created for that. All designed by Michelle Costa and made out of, I think it's Vireo. I think that's the name of it. Let's see if I can get that to show up. Vireo. That looks terrible, but it's 80% tencel and 20% wool. It is a medium weight, but I really feel like that's more like DK than a worsted. It's pretty light, but it is gorgeous to work with. It feels so good. Like, I made the crochet sample of the designs that we were doing for that particular section of the day. And of course, like I said before, Knit Picks and We Crochet provided, maybe I didn't say that. Knit Picks and We Crochet provided all of the tools that were used for every kit. Every kit. Now, speaking of We Crochet, so segue. Everything came, or at least all of my host gifts came, and I really hope this doesn't blow out. It probably will, because it's bright. And this orange tote. Okay, orange is my favorite color. So this thing was full, like packed, like things were squished in there. Okay. And I had this sitting over here on the side so I could put all of my stuff back in it. So I have less to clean up when I'm done. But anyway, so there were the 3 hats. There was a crochet version, a knit version, and then a more advanced knit version that had lace in it. I'm gonna try that one. We'll see if it works. Since I already made the crochet version, I know how that one goes, right? So now, as a host gift, and yes, it's orange, Universal provided me with another line of theirs, which is called Magnolia. It is 90% modal. I don't know what that is. And then 5% cashmere. I really wish this wasn't like blowing out, but it's called Magnolia. Magnolia. I got 3 of these, and they're going to become like a tank top or something. Then, so that was that day, and of course there was food, right? We ate very well, and that's one thing that I love about this event. All of this stuff is included. Your meals, while you're at events, like brunch and dinner, delicious. So we stayed at the Godfrey Hotel, which is beautiful. And so they catered the food. The food is delicious. I like to eat, if you didn't know. So there's that. Then there was also the opportunity to hit up the bar. It was cash, but we had a good time after the event was over. I'll just say that. Then on Saturday, we had brunch, and the brunch and the kit for that section was sponsored by Circular. So everyone were making these bags designed by Tamara and Michelle. And then the handles that were for the bag came from Nina Chicago. But they had some really nice leather handles. So I have the yarn, but I wasn't making the bag because I'm not really a crochet, or I'm not a yarn bag person like that, where I was like make the bag. But they have this line called In Love, and it is, go back there, a bulky cotton, and this is what the bags are made out of. So I chose this color called Solar. It is so bright. So I have 2 skeins of this, and it's 100% cotton. I'm gonna make something out of it. I don't know what yet, but it's very soft, and it's like a boucle. Yeah, it's like a boucle. See if I can get it to focus. There we go. It's like a boucle. Very soft. Don't know what I'm gonna make out of that yet. I was thinking maybe a pillow, but probably not. Probably not. So that was that part. That was the bags. And then the brunch. The brunch was so good. Sorry, I'm gonna keep talking about food. Then after that, everybody went into the Yarn Bomb workshop. So another one of the hosts, and this is why I waited to talk about her at this one, because this is her thing, right? So we did a Yarn Bomb workshop, and that was hosted by London K. Right? And so she, helped everybody work through making all of these pieces to go into this yarn bomb that was going to be installed next to Nina Chicago at the park, like on the park fence. So everybody got a chance to make circles, squares, triangles, and people did their own things, and London made it fit, right? So she had this tapestry created, and the design was stitched on it. And so everyone created pieces to fill it in, because the base of it was white. It turned out so good. And I don't know if it's still there at this point, but if you're in the Chicago area, go past Nina Chicago, you'll see the yarn bomb with pieces created by all of the Stitch Up attendees. And that was very fun. Let's see, I got my notes so I don't forget anything. So after the yarn bombing, or the creation of the pieces for the yarn bombing, we had the yarn tasting. So if you've never went to a yarn tasting, it's kind of like a wine tasting, but it's with yarn. So you get to try different bases, different weights of these indie dyers, right? So there was Pearly Trico, who was my friend, Tasia. She was there as one of the dyers for the yarn tasting. And look at this color. This is called Garnet. It is soft and squishy. This is fingering. And it's just a great color. And then this is another one of her colors. Oh, that's blowing out. That's terrible. Rose Latte. It is this beautiful mix of peaches and pinks and some of this color in there. Just speckled goodness. So I got these off the table after the tasting was over. It's okay to see a nose. But I'm going to do something with these. And we'll see what it is. I don't know yet. So each dyer had samples on their table so that you can see their yarns worked up. Everybody had an opportunity to taste the yarn. So basically you take knitting needles or a crochet hook and you make a swatch. There were cards that you could write all of the information down on so that you were able to go back to that diary if you loved it and purchase something. So as of today, if you were a Stitch Up attendee, check the little envelope that's in your bag so that you can use the discount code because it is still good. It's good until May 14th. So do not forget. Then there was Emily of Distortion Fibers. Now, at the tea at Nina Chicago, I'm having all kinds of conversations with Emily from Distortion Fibers. Didn't know it was her at all. And I had plans to talk to her for sure because of that grungy pumpkin that she sent me. So we were just having a conversation, just talking. And she was like, oh, I want to meet so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, I can introduce you to so-and-so, you know. So we went over there, introduced her. And then she was like, yeah, I'm Emily from Distortion Fibers. I got all up in the conversation. I said, excuse me, what? You're who? How come you didn't lead with that? I had never met you before. I was trying to get a hold of you so we can talk about this grungy pumpkin you sent me. And we just laughed and laughed and laughed, right? So people there knew who I was because I was one of the hosts. And my face was all over everything. But I hadn't seen Emily before. Now, let me show you. It's okay. We're good now. So Emily not sent me. This was in my bag. These labels are going to blow out. So I'm just going to cover them up. Can you see them? You see that? Super sock, 75 is the base. 75 superwash, 25 nylon, 463 yards, 422 meters. And this color is called Smashing Spices. Same base. Mullet over. These names are killing me. Oh, I need a sweater in this. Dr. Pepper. I get a kick out of these names for real. Dr. Pepper. Doesn't that look like it though? Yes. So 3 skeins of that. Either it's going to become one of these color blocked or it's going to become a 3 skein shawl design at some point in time. But they're going to stay together. They have to stay together. And then we have Asylum Fibers. So Asylum Fibers is Stephanie. And these actually came right after my last episode. And so I didn't get to show them the first time. So this is a twisted sock. Oh, man. Twisted sock base. Yeah, I got to put them back there so you can see them. Tiger Lily. And Juicy. I don't know what these are going to be, but they're going to be something together. Let me see if I can get this closer without it looking all crazy. Oh, yeah. Look at it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be something, too. I know I have another skein of Juicy that was gifted to me for Christmas. I gotta look through the stash. I don't know if it's DK or Sockway. We'll see. We'll see. Let me see. So I got yarn from the other dyers, all right? So we had Kristen from Crochet and Jamie from M1 Yarns. So because they had already given me something, I didn't have anything in the host bag, which is perfectly fine. I love what they had already given me. They didn't need to give me any more. I am good, right? I am not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. So speaking of Asylum Fiber, so that same night after the yarn tasting, they did another like workshop where everyone created the Montgomery shawl, which is designed by Michelle Costa. And so in their swag bags, everybody got a skein of Asylum Fibers yarn. If you registered for like the all-in, you get to choose your color. If you didn't, you got what was there. But there was also an opportunity to swap it out if you weren't like really feeling the color you had. And plus people swapped with each other too. So that was great. There was a knit version and a crochet version of that. Notice how I'm saying that they're this version and that version of all of the kits. So how Michelle likes to run things is that if you come and you're a crocheter and you want to learn how to knit, you can. And if you're a knitter and you want to learn how to crochet, you can. You had the host there to help you. You had other attendees there to help you. And it was just absolutely wonderful. So bringing the crafts together. Yes, yes, yes. All right, we are okay. So we're on the same day. So we had tacos that night. Tacos was slamming. And then, so we had tacos and kits, sponsored by Mary Maxim. And for this one, myself, Lauren of Mother of Pearl, and Michelle designed cowls based on a checkerboard. And each of us designed in a different craft. So mine was Tunisian crochet. Lauren's was knit. Michelle's was crochet. But they all balanced each other out. And they were created with each designer's personality in mind, but they fit so well together. We're definitely going to collaborate again because that worked out so well. So all of them were made out of, I got to get this lighting right, Mellow Spun DK by Mary Maxim. Everybody had different colors and different color combinations in their bags. Each of them were made of 2 colors of the Metal Spun DK, which is 100% acrylic, and it is very soft. Very soft. And just keep that in mind because I have a few other things coming with Mary Maxim, just so you know. Now, we did have a hiccup. And we didn't get the right size hooks for the Tunisian crochet version. So everyone who wanted to make that version were sent the hooks to their homes after the fact. So they'll still be able to do that. They still have access to the patterns. The patterns themselves will be released on Tuesday. The 9th. I had to look at what day today was. Tuesday, May 9th, they'll be released free on the Stitch and Hustle blog. So if you didn't come to Stitch Up, check them out. They are gorgeous. And the pictures came out wonderfully. It was so cute. It was so cute. Then, so everybody had an opportunity to start it, get going on it, either the crochet version or the knit version, because the Tunisian crochet version, we didn't have what we needed. But I really hope people make it because I love it, and I think I'm going to make another version for myself. I think this time I'm going to make it skinnier and longer. So the patterns included different sizes, right? So I want one that's like double wrapped. So that's not in the pattern. But I'm gonna make one because I designed it, so I can do that. I mean, you can too. You just gotta know how to hack it yourself. I'm not telling nobody. You can figure it out. It's real easy. So the Tunisian crochet version is made in the round with a double-ended hook or 2 hooks connected with a cord. And it's so much fun. So much fun. But definitely check that out. And the other versions as well. They're all gorgeous. I love them all. I'm going to make the other 2 versions as well because why not? Let's see. What's this? I don't know. Okay, so I'm still talking about what was in the house bag, right? Oh, that's so far away from me. So I talked about how We Crochet provided all of the tools that we needed for everything. So I also had a little tin of stitch markers. You can never have too many of those. And then, so they sent me some of their comfy, but sport weight. So I've used, I think, DK or worsted before, and it's very soft. So it is cotton. 75% Pima cotton, 25% acrylic, and this is a sport weight, which I'm like really excited about. And of course, shades of orange. I'm gonna try that out. They also sent me a mini set, a fingering weight stroll. So this, okay, so this set is called Clown Car. Love the colors. Not feeling the name. Sorry, I have a clown phobia. But I'll make something out of that. I don't know. I don't know what yet. Or maybe it'll be a giveaway. Also included some sticky notes. I wish that would show up right. Crochet project planner sticky notes. Oh, that's cute. And then a case that I'm not going to open this up because I tried that before. The inside is a white fabric and it blows out a lot. So just know on the inside there are slots and zipper pockets for you to put all of your hooks. I know that I will not be using this, even though it is great. My sets came with cases, so give away anybody? Don't think about that. Let me think about that. And then also this. So it's not labeled, but I'm assuming that that's Felici sock, because they are famous for their Felici. Anyway, I got 2 balls of that. We'll see. That might be a real nice giveaway. And then also, I got a couple of skeins of this Burnett Swedish from Yarn Inspirations, because they were also a sponsor. It is a tape yarn. It's very soft. I guess that's why they call it Swedish, because it kind of feels suede-y. Not really sure I'm gonna make out of that. It might make a good pillow. It might make a good pillow. We'll see. So that was basically the event, right? Everybody had a great time because I asked people, because I'm nosy like that. But then on Sunday, if you were around, you had the opportunity to come back to Nina Chicago for more shopping if you would like, to participate in the hanging of the yarn bombing, and also take 2 classes with me. That was very fun. Very, very fun. So I taught basic Tunisian crochet. And then Beyond the Basics, where everybody was able to take the stitch patterns that they learned from the first class and incorporate them into actual stitch patterns. And everyone had a great time. This is where, even after the entire weekend, where I actually met and had an opportunity to talk to people that I talked to online. And I did that throughout the whole weekend. But specifically this one person, Katrina. Katrina is a hoot. An absolute hoot, right? So when I was talking about starting this podcast, and I put a call out on Instagram, like where the makers, the podcasters that crochet that are BBIMP. And so Katrina was like, you should start one. And I was like, you should start one. Which was absolutely hilarious because we both decided to just go ahead and do it. And let me find Katrina's site so that you can see it. So her channel is called Yarn Armor. And she is so funny. So she also has a podcast up right now that details her stitch up experience. Yeah, that didn't work. Terrible. Let me put it in front of my face. No. A little better. Anyway, it's called Yarn Armor. So that is my podcast recommendation. Yarn Armor. Go and check out Katrina. She is hilarious. So she also took my classes. Now she Tunisian crochet before, but she decided to take my classes, and I was very happy to learn that even though she did know Tunisian crochet, that she did learn something and she had a really good time. There was also a younger person in class, which was very exciting. She Tunisian crochet before, but needed to know like more techniques and things like that. So I'm really excited. I hope that she keeps going with it. I think she was about 13. But everybody in class also helped her out. And this was actually my first time teaching in person, because I started teaching at the height of the pandemic and it was all virtual. And teaching in person is completely different than teaching virtually. Like there are people actually in the room with you, and it's a different kind of high. Like I thrive on teaching, and getting people to learn and be obsessed with Tunisian crochet just like I am. But being in person, it's a whole nother vibe. Like it's a whole different high, and I love it. And I plan to keep doing that. So if you own a yarn shop and you need a teacher to come in, I'm your girl. I'll be there. I will, because that junk is fun. Anyway, so after class on Sunday, I had the opportunity to just kind of relax, and chill and shop. So my friend Jamie from M1 Yarns had a pop-up at the same time that I was teaching class. And so she was still doing it after I got out of class, so I had a chance to shop. So I was looking for something very specific. I have designed in Jamie's yarn before a Tunisian crochet top called the Tunisian Desert, which is inspired by the colorway that she created by the same name, Tunisian Desert. And she created this colorway for me, which is a staple in her shop now, which is awesome. But it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, the top that I created was in DK weight, and it was felted, so it's gone. And I'm sad, but I can make another one, right? I'm the designer. I'm a maker. I can do this. But this time I decided to take the opportunity to create another version of it, and I'm going to do a fingering weight version. And so I got the skeins of fingering weight. Isn't this gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous. Anyway, so I got the yarn. It's waiting for me. I'm like, I'm going to finish the sweater first. I'm going to be monogamous and get that done, knock it out. Yeah, we all know that didn't happen. I caked this yarn up and got started. And I have the front panel done. Oh, this color. This color. Okay, so this is, I call it diagonal yarn overlays. I have no idea what the stitch is called. I know I didn't invent it because these crafts have been around way longer than me. But this is my swatch. I love this. I love the stitch pattern. I love the colorway, the combination together, the drapiness of this fingering weight. This is about to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And I know I'm going to need more than one. So I'm looking through Stash to see what I can do. But because this pattern has already been created and I'm just making a fingering weight version of it, the pattern is going to be easy to write. I'm going to put it into testing so that everybody can make it for the summer, right? I feel like it is a must-have design. You know, let me show you again. It's totally beginner friendly. Like, it's beginner friendly. And you can do it. It's 2 panels, seam them together. You got your top, right? So, I know I've said before, if you're going to make a square, it's got to be interesting. This is interesting. So I'm very excited to get that done. So that was the entire weekend. Now we're on to the life update part, right? Why it's been so long since I had an episode up. So after Stitch Up Chicago, I got home and my kid was sick, like sick. And of course, when your children are sick, they need you more. They're basically attached to your hip, even though they're snotty and coughing and all those things. And so guess who got sick right after that? Me. So there was a time where I was sick. And then shortly after getting over that cold, I somehow messed up my whole left hip. How? I do not know. I don't know. But I was limping. A day I couldn't walk. Then I was limping. And then it got better. And so now I'm here. I don't know what happened. I tore ligaments and tendons. And I was just standing. Like I wasn't doing anything. No acrobatics. Nothing. And mind you, I exercise. Like I walk every single day. So why this happened, nobody knows. The doctor didn't know. I had x-rays. Everything was fine. But anyway, I'm back to 100%. And so I am here with you now. And hopefully we'll be back on schedule every 2 weeks. But to make up for the fact that I was gone, I have another video for you. Not a podcast, but something fun. And I will also be doing more stitch tutorials. So stay tuned for that. I have a couple of good ones coming up as well. So these are not going to be basic tutorials. These are going to be more advanced stitches because there are people who have all the basics out there in video form and not as many, or that I could find. I'll say that. more advanced stitch tutorials. So that is coming. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section. I will try to link as much of the things that I talked about today as possible. If they don't have links, then rewind to who I talked about and then go to their Instagram page, because I guarantee you they have one. And so that's all I got. And I will catch you all next time. See ya.